A lean and mean mudding machine, the INOV8 Mudtalon Speed. There they are with their 8mm lugs. Question of the day: who runs often? Now, how do you define often? That's the question. But who runs often in mud? All right, we have everybody in Colorado on the Front Range, especially. Well, actually, Western Slope as well. But if you live, let's say, below 6,000 feet. We get mud season here, but it only lasts maybe 6 weeks, maybe 2 months at the most. I want to say it's like mid-April to late May, roughly, because all the snow is melting, and we'll also have spring snowstorms that melt by 1 p.m., but it just turns the trails here on the Front Range in Colorado to a muddy mess. So that's where the Mudtalon Speeds will come into play. There they are, all right. So I look forward to reading, and yes, this is a company, INOV8. Thank you for taking a flyer on me maybe 4 or 5 years ago, sending me a pair of shoes, kind of out of the blue. It's a company based in the UK, in the northwest corner of England, I do believe. It's up in the fell country, all right? So these shoes are made for running in the mud. Who's a fan? Let us know if you do live in the UK of INOV8. And by the way, in 2024, they just went through a rebranding. I like the update, I gotta say. They have a new logo, a new look to their overall feel of the shoe, overall look of the shoe. So good job there. There's all the scores in case you got to move on with your day. All right, soak them in. There you have it. And you already saw the quick specs for the INOV8 Mudtalon Speed. I can't resist. I'm gonna do the twist test. We're talking like, I can't even put all the geese on the screen. There's too many geese. It's like very, very loosey-goosey, all right? So this is a very niche down trail running shoe. Again, 8mm lugs. They don't quite look 8mm to me. They look more like 5 to 6, but anyway, that's what the website is saying, 8mm. It does have a flex, a MetaFlex section there, right under, line there, right under the toe box. So this shoe is designed for going uphill in muddy conditions or snowy conditions, all right? That's what I was doing today, and that is a good work there, INOV8, as far as the grip, and that's why the outsole score is so high, coming in at 9. Now for the upper, I'm gonna say before I forget, very narrow fit. You might want to consider a half size up, all right? And maybe it's just the difference in last from the United States to the UK, but it was feeling a little, I like it, but I had to kind of squeeze into the shoe. So just be aware, like it's a snug fit, and I think it's smart, INOV8, to go that route, because if you're in the mud, there's much higher probability that you're gonna pop out of the shoe. Your heel is gonna pop out if you're sinking into some serious mud. And listen, for me, I love like going on crazy runs where you come back and you just have those epic stories. A lot of times in my life, actually, not a lot, all right. Here in Colorado, we don't get it crazy, but the hardest race of my entire childhood was in Colorado Springs, one of the parks down there. I was probably like 12 years old, 13, and it was it was part of the Pikes Peak fall series. Who remembers that series? This is, in the late 90s, and it was one of the hardest races because of the mud. The mud was sticking to the shoes. I definitely didn't have trail shoes at that point. Anyway, that's where this shoe would come into play for me, as far as I would race in this shoe if I knew on the trails, if I knew that, a spring, everybody in Colorado, but by June here in Colorado, like the trails are at least lower elevation, they're melted out and they start to turn to bone dry by about, I would say, the first or second week of June. Now for the upper, I actually couldn't find the exact phrase or the exact name of the upper material. I like it. Very water resistant, and if you do sink into the mud, you do sink into a bog, I'm thinking of everyone over in the UK, it's gonna drain out of the shoe as well. So sometimes, you get a shoe like this, and yes, it's water resistant, but also does it allow water to drain out of the shoe in case you do go plunging your foot into a creek or into a bog. That's gonna happen with the Mudtalon Speed. Again, outsole, not much more to add there. Oh yeah, the midsole. Okay. Historically, for me, at least in the last 4 or 5 years of testing INOV8 shoes, the midsoles have been quite firm. All right, so we're coming in at 48. All right, I do believe is what I was getting. Yep, 48 right there. And let me just double check this side for the durometer. This one's saying 50, all right, on the medial side. So that's a little firm, but again, I'm okay with that. I'm not taking the shoe out for a 20-mile trail run. I'm taking the shoe out for a 3 to 6 to maybe 8-mile trail run where I'm climbing and descending in boggy or muddy conditions. All right, so it's very niche, and you could take it out longer than that, but I wouldn't necessarily race in the shoe for much longer than, for me, like 8 to 10 miles. I'd probably want a little more midsole protection there, especially considering it is kind of loosey-goosey. It is called the PF Pro for that midsole, all right? It's a super lightweight power flow midsole foam, and it works in combination with a new Boomerang footbed. What do they mean exactly about this Boomerang? If I can find some more information, I know it's a precision fit INOV8. If I can find some more information, I'll put it on the screen right now. That's about all I got for you. Again, quick specs on your screen right now. Soak them in. Oh yeah, the price point. It's a little zesty. It's lightweight. All right, there's the weight score one more time. I like the weight, but the price, like, it's getting up there for a shoe that's so niche down. I realize, like, that all prices are up in 2024, but that's, you know, $150, $140 US dollars would be a little more enticing for me for picking it up again. Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention, sorry about that, full gusset on the tongue. I like the lockdown. And as always, if you do pick this shoe up, send me pictures, info at DeMoor. I'll be curious and actually get some pictures of you out in the mud, because we won't have mud here in Colorado. Let's see, it's March. It's at least 2 months off before we really get mud season here in Colorado. But for the snow and the ice and the slush, it's working beautifully. All right, there you go. We'll toss it to the INOV8. I do believe I have an INOV8 playlist right there. All right, INOV8 playlist right there in case you want to go explore this company, and I'll list their website down below in the description as well. All right, good work, INOV8. Seek beauty, work hard, and love each other.